Welcome. You have entered the realm of 1111 Talk Radio. Your host is Simran. It's time to discover your own language with the universe. Empower yourself, broaden your mind, open your heart, and discover who you are. Now, here's your host, Simran.
Welcome. As we near the holidays, we are in a place where we can really call in our angels and our guides and our ascended masters and all of the support that we are desiring. In actuality, we can call that in at any time, but we don't often know how to do that until we're given the guides that can actually teach us. Before we get into this show, I'd like to ask you to settle back and relax into your body, to close your eyes, and to allow yourself to really sink into your chair with your feet on the floor and arms relaxed in your lap. Take a deep breath and allow yourself to drop deeper into your heart by focusing on your heart center. Ask your heart to relax and expand a little more. Like a balloon expanding and filling your chest, feel the warmth. Then, as if you were saying these words, I ask my soul and my spirit to become fully present in my physical body. I ask the divine lords of unconditional love to help me center fully in this moment. As I create this sacred space, please wrap me in your love and protection and allow me to travel to the highest realms of the Akasha available to me today. Please help as I lay my multidimensional heart open to divine love and release all resistance. Lords of the Akashic Records, please guide me to the deepest truth that I can now access. Support me in healing and releasing that which no longer serves on my true path. I give great thanks for your divine love and support on this journey today. And so it is. Take another deep breath, and as you feel your heart open, see the energy surrounding you, noticing a new lightness or tingly feeling in your body. In this time together, you may ask the Akashic beings of light to help you release anything that no longer serves your true path. This is one of the prayers from Questioning to Knowing, 73 Prayers to Transform Your Life by Lisa Barnett. What if there were a simple tool that could help you release anger, grief, and old negative emotions? One that offered physical and emotional healing? What kind of life changes could you experience if you had an accessible tool that supported you in releasing soul contracts, past vows, and unconscious karma? Imagine a straightforward tool always at your fingertips that opens your heart and allows more love and abundance to flow into your life. As an internationally recognized author, teacher, and healer with more than 20 years' experience in the spiritual healing forum, Lisa Barnett found herself in the mid-1990s being intimately summoned by the Akashic Masters to share their personal insights into her life and those of her clients. She specializes in clearing soul contracts, karmas, and vows, and helps individuals align with their soul's path. Her unique healing technique called pain body release helps her clients let go of their accumulated emotional pain from both their current and past lives. This ancient wisdom is here to help humanity create steps to the life their heart and soul desires. The book, From Questioning to Knowing, is quite powerful and beautiful in the way that it explains to you what the Akasha is and how to access, but more so in the really beautiful prayers that have been channeled through. And that is what we are talking about today. So I'd like to welcome Lisa Barnett to 1111 Talk Radio. Welcome, Lisa.
Thank you. I am so excited to be here and share some of this channeled and ancient wisdom with you and the listeners, and help everyone as we, of course, move through the holidays to be the love, to open our hearts, and to share our gifts with each other.
Well, what better gift to give ourselves and way to open up a new year than to access not only our inner power, but also the power and wisdom that is accessible, that is beyond the realm of our physical body. To start off with, for those that are not aware, can you talk about, who the Akashic beings of light are and why we should get to know them?
Absolutely. So, each and every one of us have a record of our soul, and that has been being recorded and kept for you through all the lifetimes, whether it's here on Earth or other planes or dimensions. And along with that record of your soul, which we call the Akashic Record, you have special beings of light that are your record keepers. And they really have devoted their infinite soul lives to supporting you. So the interesting thing is that each person has their own group of record keepers, and the record keepers are here to share with us our soul plan. Things like, what did we come to share and do in this life? That what we often will refer to as, we might say, what's my soul purpose or what's my path? These are often created by many, many, many lifetimes of gifts and talents that we want to share with people. And of course, everyone comes to share their love and be in relationship with other people, other souls embodied at this time. So we call those soul contracts. We write soul contracts. And the record keepers are here to help us figure it out and sort it out and understand the challenges and support us in seeing the big picture and doing some healing and clearing for ourselves. So these are profound ancient beings of light that are here just in service to you.
So, Lisa, what specifically are the Akashic records that the beings of light are accessing on our behalf?
So if you imagine that at some point, I'm going to say millions and billions of Earth years ago, each of us individuated from Source. And when a soul individuates from Source, that soul starts a record of everything they are and they do. So the record keepers often suggest that it might look like a library where every book in the library is a book about a lifetime. Or if you want to be a little bit more, in alignment to the modern days, you could imagine that when you were born, you had a GoPro that was strapped to your head, and everything you did and saw, said, and felt was recorded on that video camera. And then everything gets uploaded to the iCloud, and it is always there for you, whether it was yesterday or 10 years ago or 100 years ago. It's all recorded in your own soul's Akashic record.
Oh, that's a great analogy to explain that. And when individuals are thinking about the Akashic records and these Akashic masters and beings that are assisting us, it might be easy to confuse them with who they are not. So can you explain the distinction, or at least give us the idea of who these beings are compared to who they are not, if we are reaching out into the energetic ethers and considering angels or ascended masters or those that have passed over or any of the like?
Yeah, and I think it's really helpful for us because the Akashic records and the record keepers are ancient and have always been here, but the vibration was really pulled far enough away from Earth that we haven't accessed this information very readily over the last 1 or even 2,000 years. So even though this is ancient wisdom, most of us are not very familiar with it. So the record keepers are not ascended masters, even though I often say the Akashic masters. They're different than ascended masters. Ascended masters have been human. They have lived and learned and grown through the human realms and ascended and are now here to guide us in these human realms, very often through their learning and their growth. So they're not ascended masters, they're Akashic masters, and they're not our great-grandparents, they're not our ancestors, they're no one who has been human and crossed over. So the interesting thing about the Akashic record keepers is that if you imagine when we individuate from Source, most souls go on a journey, whether they come here to Earth or they go to some other planet, plane, or dimension. Most of us go on a journey. But what the Akashic record keepers do is their first journey is into this divine library of the all. And they become the librarians that keep the records for everyone on Earth. So they haven't actually been human. And the lovely part about that is that because they have not been human, they do not have any judgment. They do not have any particular beliefs or thoughts, or, they're not stuck in any of the human kinds of patterns. They don't believe what we believe. So it frees them up to stay as pure source energy. So it's a good thing to know. The Akashic records are stored as part of source. They're really energetically connected to us through our hearts, but they're in the highest realm of the all, as are your record keepers. And that's where they live and that's where they stay. So they're beautiful beings of love and just joy and laughter. They can be very funny when we speak to them because, again, they have no judgment. They have no attitude. They're just pure love.
And as you interact with these beings on the behalf of others as your clients, when people come to you, are you getting a sensation? Or are you hearing? Or is it telepathic? What exactly is taking place with you? And is that what others experience as well? Or can it be different for different people?
Fabulous question. I, and as well as most of the students that I teach to do this, most of us receive information in many different ways. I always say we really are very multidimensional. We have many aspects. So many of us are clairvoyant. We see pictures. We may be clairaudient and hear voices. We have feelings. Many of us, I often receive information claircognizantly, which is kind of that clear knowingness. It comes through the heart. So for me, I'll often see kind of like just a little snapshot, and then I'll know the story behind that picture. So some people occasionally see movies, like, colored movies, but that's a level of clairvoyance that I would say most of us that I know, do not have that kind of depth of clairvoyance, but many of us receive images and colors and symbols, and we also receive energy, information, that knowingness that I just know what the story is. So the information can come to us also clairsentiently. Sometimes it feels very sad, and we then will understand where that sadness is coming from and the story or the experience that the Akashic Masters are explaining to us. They would be explaining it to me for my client, or I also teach people to do this. So when students learn to do this work for themselves, they may experience the energy in all these different sorts of ways. And it rolls together in a very deep, conscious understanding and knowingness about the information, about the answer to our questions.
The Akashic Records are vibrational recordings of your soul's journey, from the time you first arise from Source until you eventually return home. This can take a millennia, but no matter how new or ancient of a soul you are, the Akashic energy holds all your thoughts, feelings, actions, and deeds from each lifetime. Whether it's here on Earth, this lifetime, a past lifetime, another planet, another dimension or realm, all that you are and have been as a soul is recorded in your own personal vibrational Akashic library. Many people imagine the Akashic Records as a library where each book represents a different lifetime. This is from the book From Questioning to Knowing, 73 Prayers to Transform Your Life by Lisa Barnett. You can go to her website, akashicknowing.com, and when you do, you will go there and you'll discover Akashic Record readings, Akashic classes where you can become certified as a teacher or a consultant, the events that she has taking place, along with other products such as home study courses, meditations, her books, both from Questioning to Knowing, as well as the Infinite Wisdom of the Akashic Records, as well as the blog and other information to really help you deepen and have a greater understanding of how this can be an empowerment tool for your own life. Once again, this is Lisa Barnett, and it's akashickknowing.com. We'll be right back after these messages.
Have you seen 1111? Do you wonder why certain numbers keep showing up in your life? 11, 111, 22, 33, 444? People all over the world are seeing 1111 and learning the language of universal communication. Subscribe to 1111 Magazine today. 1111mag.com. 1111 Magazine is a bi-monthly online publication that offers a rich multi-sensory experience. Engage with experts in topics of consciousness. Become enlightened, empowered, and energized, so you live a passionate and authentic life of conscious choices. 1111 Magazine, a daily staple for lifting the mindset, expanding the heart, and experiencing greater aliveness. 1111 Magazine. Order now at www.1111mag.com. 1111mag.com.
Do you want more out of life? Tired of settling in relationships, your career, health, or finances? Want to experience greater aliveness? I am SIMRAN. I support people in listening to their conversations with the universe, the guiding signs, symbols, and synchronicity. I mentor people to anchor in trust, love, and confidence to live their heart's desires. Let me guide you in embracing the challenges and the obstacles so you embody and integrate the gifts they bring. No more human doing. You are here for being, bounteously and abundantly. Experience your soul's natural rhythm, your powerful essence. Don't shrink back any longer. Release the struggle. Learn how to let go. Create in different dimensions. Transform separateness, grief, anxiety, anger, and chaos into living your destiny. Connect with me at IamSimran.com. Live more freely, spontaneously, and joyfully. Don't conform. Live a life of courage. Let's start now. Through my online courses, mentoring programs, or one-on-one coaching, it's time to change your world. Connect at IamSimran.com.
You are listening to 1111 Talk Radio. Simran is an award-winning author, publisher of 1111 Magazine, powerful speaker of wisdom, and a life mentor. Find out more at IamSimran.com. Now, back to 1111 Talk Radio.
I'd like to welcome you back, and if you'd like to connect with more of my work, you can go to social media at Simran Singh 1111 and at 1111 Magazine. I'd like to mention that the brand new issue of 1111 Magazine is out for December, and you can partake in the many beautiful individuals that are shared. Their wisdom is beautiful, and also it is a way to celebrate so many people from around the world that are stepping into their light and illustrating by example that we all have something powerful to share. Lisa is featured in a past issue, and the archives are always free and available at 1111mag.com. My guest today, Lisa Barnett, is the internationally renowned founder of the Akashic Knowing School of Wisdom. She has been teaching people how to connect with the Akashic Masters for many years, but she also spent 10 years as a prayer practitioner at the Golden Gate Center for Spiritual Living in San Francisco, and has guided people with the right prayers to seek intervention for specific issues in their lives. So it's not a surprise that the Akashic beings of light tapped into Lisa Barnett and said, we're going to have to bring forth a series of powerful source-imbued prayers that help people turn their lives around. With what's going on in these days and times, it is important that we tap into the prayers, the method of prayer, and also understand that we have within us and connected to us all that we need. You can find out more about her at akashicknowing.com. And while you're there, in addition to all of the services and products that she offers, including the trainings and teachings, there are some free gifts there. So you might want to download either of her meditations or her prayers of self-love. There are several free gifts on the website. So definitely this holiday season, let those free gifts come to you. Again, that's akashickknowing.com. I want to go back to something that you said, Lisa, in the past segment, and that had to do with multidimensional abilities for individuals that you end up working with and training and certifying and consulting to become consultants of the Akashic work. And we're all moving into a more multidimensional space. And in creating this particular book and having the Akashic Masters come to you to provide these channeled prayers, will this assist and support our own connection to our multidimensional selves and our intuitive knowing and the opening that is available to us as we move into these times where we really do have the opportunity to rise in our vibrational capacity?
Yes, when the Akashic Masters asked me to write this book, I said, well, that's kind of interesting. You want to bring forward a prayer book. We've written the book about how to access the Akashic records. But they said, this is just the perfect step for everyone at this time. It's not too big of a leap. It's not, a big process, when we learn a new energy tool, when we learn to connect to the Akashic records, or we learn a new maybe energy healing process, it takes practice. But the beauty with these prayers is it really just takes dropping into your heart and repeating them once or twice or, sometimes 3 times, as we allow ourselves to expand, because we naturally are beings of energy. And when we start to do this and we connect to our Akashic Masters in this simple, beautiful way, and in the book they've given us a lovely column of light meditation, and the meditation you read in the very beginning of the call. They've added those guided meditations so that we can connect into our hearts, we can open our energy field, we can feel the connection of column of light around us to the Akashic records, and we can start to just simply feel the vibration of these healing prayers that they've given to us. And so it's an amazing, simple process, and yet it can be so very, very profound. And what they say is that the more we do our own inner work, the more we clear our energy field, and the easier it is to raise our vibration. And our vibration actually raises naturally as we do our own personal work. So by saying the prayers in the book, by reading a little bit about some of the explanations they've given us about some of the kind of bigger stories or questions, like what is a soul contract, or what is karma really in the eyes of the Akashic records, or what is a past life file, right? So as we start to understand different concepts, we're expanding. We're allowing our energy to open and grow and deepen into the ancient wisdom that is always here for us.
I had someone text me earlier today, and it was in regard to so many of the things that have gone on in the past few months, whether we look at the weather patterns of the planet, or we look at life in general, the reactionary patterns of individuals and some of the chaos that's come out, or the political landscape and the global landscape, and how there seems to be so much that is up in the air right now that causes fear. And prayer oftentimes is a way that we can center and come into our own energy. But yet these things on the outside that are showing up, they are also illustrative of who we all are as collective consciousness. And it has been called the time of Kali Yuga, or very, very karmic times. Speak about the connection between the karmic and how these prayers can support in leveling out the degrees of fear around some of the things that are taking place, and also support individuals in transforming their own karma so that it also supports the outside.
So many years ago, when I started working in the Akashic Records, they would say, you know, the way we see karma in this very expansive realm is it's really an incomplete learning. So what they would say is that there is sometimes a story or a lifetime or an experience that is challenging, painful, really just so hard for us that we leave. We jump out of that story. Sometimes we run away. Sometimes we abandon others. Sometimes we abandon ourselves. We sometimes become ill and cross over. But we leave in some ways, and we don't complete the learning and the growth that we as souls wanted, that we desired. So when we come to Earth, we write a soul plan. And some of that is to learn and to grow and to share our love and our gifts and our talents. But kind of that big picture item is always about soul growth. So if we imagine that there are many different lifetimes where, you know, it was such a challenge down here on Earth, we didn't grow, we didn't get there, we didn't understand it, we were scared, we were angry, we were hurt, and so we somehow left. And this is what karma is. It is never a punishment. There is no judgment in the expanse of the Akashic Records or, of course, in the divine. There is never a right or wrong, good or bad. It is all about learning and understanding. So one of the beautiful gifts they gave me years and years ago was a prayer of forgiveness. And they said that one of the simplest ways to heal and clear karma, to move into compassion and love, is through forgiveness. And so when we can understand the challenge that we're experiencing and be able to move into our hearts, be compassionate for the other souls that are, you know, kind of maybe in this trauma or challenge or drama with us, and be able to even stretch far enough to see out of their eyes and understand how their experience is muddying the waters or making it hard for them to see you or who you are. You know, all of the different things that happen. And we certainly have many of these often with family members. So when we can be the forgiveness, when we can forgive anyone or anything that has ever hurt us in the past, whenever the past was, throughout time and space, we open our hearts to be that forgiveness, and it will ripple through our lives and out to the people around us. And one of the lovely, lovely emails I received a few years ago was from a gentleman who had come to me for an Akashic Record reading because he and his brother had been fighting for 15 years, and they had a business together. They worked together. And his brother wasn't speaking to him for 15 years. And he was really at his wit's end. Should we close our office? I can't go on like this, he said. And so we looked at what the karma was and how it had affected them in different places dimensions, other lifetimes if you believe in other lives. But you don't even need to believe in that. It was from this life, whatever it was that happened. And so the Akashic Masters suggested that he do the prayer of forgiveness for as long as it took. Because we are human, sometimes things are fast and sometimes they're a little slower. But this gentleman actually read the prayer of forgiveness every single day for 6 months. And one day his brother walked into the office and he just took a look at him and he said, well, sometimes you just have to forgive.
Mm-hmm.
And that was that. And after 15 years, his brother went back to being his brother and talking to him. And and when he wrote to me, he said, this is a miracle to me. This is just phenomenal. It is a miracle. And truly transformed his life. And so being able to be the forgiveness, to be that love, to be the compassion, to be the understanding, to know that each and every person around us is always a divine soul, no matter how they're showing up in human form, no matter how nice or unkind they may be, no matter how judgmental they are of us, they are still divine souls having a human experience. And if we
now, Lisa, when we're talking about these prayers and we're saying prayers, are they, you've addressed that we don't even have to know what it is sometimes. It can be unconscious, it can be another lifetime, it could be anything. So it's just the fact of allowing ourselves to receive the prayers that would most support us. But are we working on the other person or the outside, or are these prayers really transforming the person within themselves and then the shift is created?
Yes. The way I see it is that as we transform ourselves, just like that pebble in a pond, it ripples out energetically and touches those around us. And so when this gentleman was saying the prayer of forgiveness, he was saying it for himself. He was asking himself to be moved into a state of forgiveness towards anyone who had hurt him. And he was asking to be moved into a state of forgiveness for himself, for anyone he may have hurt, whether he had hurt them consciously or unconsciously, whether it was yesterday or when he was a child or even a past life he couldn't even remember. And of course, one of the really important ones for everyone is to forgive ourselves for hurting ourselves, for treating our own selves poorly. So as we allow ourselves to feel forgiveness for ourselves, we invoke the grace and that power of forgiveness to transform our mind, body, and spirit as it returns to a state of divine innocence. And as we become the love and the forgiveness, it ripples out and touches those around us. And we never know how it will show up. So he was just being the forgiveness in the situation, and his brother showed up and said, "Oh, I forgive you."
Forgiveness clears karma throughout time and space. It allows us to heal our past, consisting of anything prior to this moment, including our childhood and past lives. When done at the end of the day, the prayer of forgiveness clears the negativity that builds within us throughout the day. In this moment, think of someone that you need to forgive, or a place in your life that requires forgiveness, or a place in yourself. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and take this in. Divine Spirit Source, please move me into a state of forgiveness towards anyone or anything that has hurt me, consciously or unconsciously, from the beginning of time to this present moment. I now forgive them and I release the energy of the past. Divine Spirit Source, please move me into a state of forgiveness towards myself for any hurt that I have caused others, consciously or unconsciously, from the beginning of time to this present moment. I now forgive myself, and I release the energy of the past. Divine Spirit Source, please move me into a state of forgiveness towards myself for any hurt that I have caused myself, consciously or unconsciously, from the beginning of time to this present moment. I now forgive myself, and release the energy of the past. I invoke the grace and power of forgiveness to transform my body, mind, and heart as I return to a state of divine innocence. So it is. Blessed be. Take a deep breath and allow that to flow through you, in and out. This is from the book, From Questioning to Knowing, 73 Prayers to Transform Your Life by Lisa Barnett. You can find out more about her at AkashicKnowing.com. And when you go there, there are several free gifts that you can opt into, as well as to find information on Akashic Record readings, Akashic classes, other products and events, in addition to other information about Lisa and all of the things that she has to share. Again, that's AkashicKnowing.com. We'll be right back after these messages.
Have you seen 1111? Do you wonder why certain numbers keep showing up in your life? 11, 111, 22, 33, 444? People all over the world are seeing 1111 and learning the language of universal communication. Subscribe to 1111 Magazine today. 1111mag.com. 1111 Magazine is a bi-monthly online publication that offers a rich multisensory experience. Engage with experts in topics of consciousness. Become enlightened, empowered, and energized, so you live a passionate and authentic life of conscious choices. 1111 Magazine, a daily staple for lifting the mindset, expanding the heart, and experiencing greater aliveness. 1111 Magazine. Order now at www.1111mag.com. 1111mag.com.
Do you want more out of life? Tired of settling in relationships, your career, health, or finances? Want to experience greater aliveness? I am SIMRAN. I support people in listening to their conversations with the universe, the guiding signs, symbols, and synchronicity. I mentor people to anchor in trust, love, and confidence to live their heart's desires. Let me guide you in embracing the challenges and the obstacles so you embody and integrate the gifts they bring. No more human doing. You are here for being, bounteously and abundantly. Experience your soul's natural rhythm, your powerful essence. Don't shrink back any longer. Release the struggle. Learn how to let go. Create in different dimensions. Transform separateness, grief, anxiety, anger, and chaos into living your destiny. Connect with me at IamSimran.com. Live more freely, spontaneously, and joyfully. Don't conform. Live a life of courage. Let's start now. Through my online courses, mentoring programs, or one-on-one coaching, it's time to change your world. Connect at IamSimran.com.
You are listening to 1111 Talk Radio. Simran is an award-winning author, publisher of 1111 Magazine, powerful speaker of wisdom, and a life mentor. Find out more at IamSimran.com. Now, back to 1111 Talk Radio.
Lisa Barnett covers a great deal of territory in her book, From Questioning to Knowing. It is interlaced with explanations of how and why the information in the Akashic Records can impact your life today, specific stories on how these prayers changed the lives of her clients, and how her own gift of interdimensional connection evolved out of her pain and searching. From Questioning to Knowing provides the answers to the questions that until now have not been answerable: why you're stuck, where you are, and how to move forward, grow, expand, and be happy. There are other places that are addressed, which include how to release old karmic patterns and complete soul contracts, the influence of ancestral lineage, the way to unblock the chakras using prayer, and how these prayers are best used to resolve issues, clear blocks, heal emotional pain and resentments, and open space for the miraculous to arrive. Definitely find out more about Lisa Barnett and everything that she does at AkashicKnowing.com. Lisa, let's talk a little bit about soul contracts and also about the influence that our ancestral lineage has on us, certainly during the holiday times. We do get with our families, and things are bound to come up during those times when we're together. And so The prayer might be quite supportive during this time, and how does it support to ease these soul contracts and any influences that we may not even be conscious of this ancestral lineage?
Well, the interesting thing I find is that soul contracts, we write many of them. Most of us write 25 to 50 soul contracts to be in relationship to other people, to, our family members, sometimes our business partners, our children, our spouses, our best friends. And so there's many, many of these. And the interesting thing is that most people assume that we have a soul contract with our parents, and we don't always. So that sometimes explains why we are born into a family and we feel like we don't belong there. So it's very interesting to look at your soul contract with your parents. Many of us have a contract, say, with our mother but not our father, or vice versa, our father but not our mother. Sometimes we have a contract with a sibling or an aunt or a grandmother to share some gift with them or some information or wisdom, but not with everyone in the family. And I find that when I do Akashic Record readings for my clients and they ask about different family members, they often find it so validating to realize that maybe they had that contract with the father but not the mother, with the brother but not the sister, because they realize those are the people I'm really connected to. I had this deep connection to my father and my brother, and my mom and sister didn't get me at all, right? And these really are the truth of who we are. So validating the truth of ourselves is very, very empowering, and one of the reasons that I love the Akashic Records. And so that's one piece. When we go back and we look at some of the reasons that we come in, they also have karma attached. So you may have had a past life with one of your parents or siblings or, someone in your family member, and you wanted to finish, you wanted to learn, you wanted to grow. And so those are not always the easiest relationships, but they're very powerful because it's about the soul growth again. So our soul contracts can be for just supporting each other, which are lovely, glorious, and usually very easy. I'm here to support you, and you're here to support me, and that's fabulous. But many are around unfinished business. So you may have a parent that triggers an abandonment issue with you, and that's really what you've both come to work through. And when we can understand what's going on, when we can see the person through the eyes of their divinity, when we can understand our own, our emotional triggers, what we're feeling, why is that upsetting me or hurting me or triggering me, we can start to grow, understand, and let go of some of that pain. And this is how we as humans learn and grow. And this is literally the way we learn and release karma, as well as, of course, forgiveness, which is so, so helpful in that process also. But there are prayers in the book to help us release old blame, to let go of guilt. Many of us feel guilty. We feel like we're the caregivers. We came to maybe take care of our whole family. Maybe you came to take care of your parents also. And maybe you feel guilty if you didn't think you did a good enough job. Or maybe there's some jealousy and competition among siblings. Or sometimes, between children and their parents, we have that. So the Akashic Masters have given us prayers to help us to release all of these energies. These are part of the 73 prayers in the book to release disappointment. So that can be so helpful if you go home for the holiday and you're kind of disappointed at the way the family connects, the way they speak to you, their view of you. It's so useful to use this prayer to release disappointment so you can let it go. You see it, you validate it for what it is, and then you release it so that you can go on with your life and let go of that old heavy energy and emotion. And again, this helps us to raise our vibration, become more expansive and multidimensional, to see the good that is around us also.
That's perfect, Lisa. There's another part of the book that I found really powerful where you talk about how we have contracts in regarding to the earth and being an earth guardian, and especially with all of the talk and the experiences of the weather and the things that are taking place on earth in regard to climate change and global warming. Talk a little bit about being an earth guardian and how powerful a calling that is to take seriously.
Yes, absolutely. So many of us are such ancient souls that we have been coming to Earth probably since before there were people here. And we've made commitments to Gaia, to our Mother Earth, to this planet itself, because she is a sentient being. We have said, I am here to love you, to support you, to keep you safe on your journey as you keep us, humans, safe on our journey. So many of the people who are Earth Guardians find that they're really called to do all sorts of different kinds of work, whether it's in the ecological regions, right? We're cleaning up the oceans or the planet. We're working with ecology. We're teaching children how to care for the planet. Many of us are interested in working in a little more of a energetic way, where we may be working with the ley lines and points on the earth. Many of us are called to go to sacred sites and really be the conduit of this beautiful high energy. So what I love to do is to go to sacred sites and places on the planet. They're all over. There are ley lines that ring the earth, beautiful grids that are all around our earth, which are energy lines. And when we go to these places, and it could be just your backyard is just perfect also, we can connect up, do the column of light meditation, which is in the book and also one of my free gifts on my website. We can do this column of light. We're channeling the beautiful high vibration of Source around us and down to the earth, and we're bridging divine energy, and we're helping to raise the energy of Gaia, of our dear Mother Earth, as we do this. So it's a big, beautiful commitment that many of us have made to the planet and to humanity so that we can continue on.
I loved another part in the book where you talk about that we're not here pleading with an unseen God. We're not bargaining or making deals. We lift ourselves and those around us to the level of divine energy of oneness. And you write that two of the biggest lessons most souls desire to master are discernment and choice. Speak a little more to this and how the prayers support in enhancing these two lessons.
Yes. So discernment, I don't know if we learn too much about that in our daily life, but really discernment has to do with that ability to understand and discern the highest and best action or option for us. And it can be, based on conscious thought, and it is also important to really base it on our energy, our feelings, the highest and best vibration that we can access so that we can choose, really consciously make a choice to go on one path or another. So as we discern our own path, the highest and best, So again, these things are not because they're good or they're bad. They're in alignment to our soul work, our path, our gifts and talents, what we are here to express, and also to help us to make choices that may be also helpful for our family, our community, the world around us. So as we can really just drop, again, deeply into our hearts and feel, know, align mind, body, spirit, so that we are saying, I choose the highest and best path for myself in the world today. This allows us much greater ease in our daily life and grace to flow to and through us. It allows us to open new doors that maybe were not there before we moved into our heart, really open to conscious discernment, conscious choice.
We do not heal ourselves or others. The divine works through us. The Creator, as you, does this as you know the truth. We attend to this world and care for ourselves, our loved ones, and those in need. As we embrace our Creator selves, we can be of service as we know that all manifestations are of the Creator and therefore divine. As we come to understand that we do nothing as it is already done through universal energy, only then can we free ourselves to receive the love and divine energy. As we create this for ourselves, we allow the high vibration of love to flow to others through us. It's important to come to the truth that each soul initiates experiences to learn, whether the experience is in the form of a challenging situation as poor health, an unhappy relationship, or lack of abundance. The soul has a reason. We are whole and perfect, and we all come to Earth School to learn and grow. This is from the book, From Questioning to Knowing, and it is filled with 73 prayers, transformational prayers to heal your life and facilitate personal change. This powerful prayer book is designed for lay people worldwide. It offers immediate gratification and healing results for readers as they use the prayers that speak to their hearts, and they access easy meditations to go into the Akashic healing vibration for accelerated soul growth, and that is what you can expect. The author is Lisa Barnett, and she is the #1 international best-selling author of The Infinite Wisdom of the Akashic Records. She has spent 10 years offering healing prayer treatment to her spiritual community as a religious science certified practitioner. She's the founder of the Akashic Knowing School of Wisdom, and an internationally recognized school where students learn to access their soul wisdom and heal their karmic wounds in the Akashic Records. Definitely connect to her and all of her work at akashicknowing.com. There are several free gifts, and you can find out more about Akashic classes, certification, and many of her other products. I'm wishing you a most joyful holiday season, time in stillness to follow through with your prayers, your discernment, your choice as you embark on a new year that is sure to be more powerful than ever. Until next time, I am Simran, in love, of love, with love, and as love. Be well.
Thank you for opening your mind to a new reality, your heart to greater compassion, and your experience of aliveness with 1111 Talk Radio.
This is Dream Vision 7 Radio Network, uniting mankind with universal love. Our shows are created from the heart, bringing each listener to a place of divine enlightenment. Breathe, relax, and enjoy. Let life flow.